Hello everyone, I'm happy to welcome you all to the Zoho Creator Learning Table series. So I just wanted to do a quick AV check. I hope my voice is clear and my screen is visible. So we'll be starting the session in few more minutes. Meanwhile, I'm just keeping myself on mute. Hello everyone, I'm happy to welcome you all to the Zoho Creator Learning Table series for the month of December. So, this learning table series is a month on month session which is held at the first Thursday of the month. In this series, we usually take an industry, discuss about all the automations needed for that particular industry, and also we'll talk about how Creator can be made as a solution in order to provide that automation. So, in that flow, this month we are going to talk about the finance industry. So, in order for you to have a reference about the previous sessions, our co-trainer will be sharing a link in the chat which contains the recording of the previous month sessions. If you want to rewatch it or if you have missed it, you can watch it. So now let's talk about the industry that we took for today's session, that is finance. So in this session, we will discuss about how Creator can be made as a solution in order to automate major processes in this finance industry. So before I move on into the session, let me introduce myself. This is my Preeti Venkatesh and I'm going to be the trainer of today's session. And also we have few housekeeping rules to be followed during the session. All the attendees in the session will be on mute. Please post your questions in the question tab which is available in the left corner of your screen, and recording of the session will be sent to all the registrants post the session. And please make sure you participate in the polls and the surveys that can be conducted during or after the session. So now let's move on into the actual part of the session. So this is going to be the agenda with which we will be driving you people throughout the session. First, I'll give you a quick introduction about what is Zoho Creator and about the industry that we took for today's session. In the finance industry, we have taken a process called as loan and credit management, and we have automated this loan and credit management with the help of Creator as an application. So we'll discuss about the application process flow used to build the application and the features that are used to enhance the working of the application. Finally, we will see the actual live demonstration of this loan and credit management. We will discuss about some of the extended use cases, and we will conclude the session by discussing some key pointers and summarizing it. So this is going to be the agenda. Once again, if you have any questions during the session, please post it in the question tab. My co-trainers will be happy to answer that question. Now let's move on into the introduction. So, what is Zoho Creator? So, there might be some new people over here. So, I'll give you a quick overview about the Zoho Creator platform before I talk about the industry. So, as you all know, Zoho Creator is a low code application development platform. This is not only an app development platform, but it is a combination of application development, business intelligence, analytics, integrations. Everything can be performed in just one platform. This helps the business to streamline their productivity with the help of the custom solutions. So, in the right side, you can get to see a picture that denotes that Creator can fit in into any industry. It can automate many different processes in many different industries. So, this is all about Zoho Creator. So, every application we build on the Zoho Creator platform are categorized into four divisions. So, first category is internal tool. If I'm trying to build an application in order to manage the internal processes like a task manager or a project management application, which will be used within a team or within an organization, then those application comes under this category internal tool. On the other side, if I'm trying to build the application for external purpose, for example, if I'm trying to manage my vendors or suppliers or customers, then I can give external user access of my application. Then those application comes under the second category, portal based application. Apart from that, we have a category called as core system. So if I'm trying to build many different processes within a single application, then that application comes under this core system category. Finally, when we are trying to integrate or create an application with other Zoho or third-party application to push and pull data, then those application comes under the final category, extended Zoho or third-party application. So every application we build on Creator can either come under a single category, or it can be a combination of these categories. And also there is something called as application development life cycle. Every application follows. So in this there are certain steps the application follows in order for it to work in a more convenient way. The first step is analyzing the requirement. So before building the application, we should know about what is the purpose of building the application and what it is going to resolve, and who are going to be the stakeholders of this application. So all these things has to be analyzed before start building the application. Once the requirements are analyzed and gathered, next step is the structuring of the application. So, depending on the requirement gathered, we will decide what are the modules, forms, reports, or dashboards that are needed to build the application. So, once the structuring is done, then comes the actual application building happens. Once the application building is done, it'll go into the testing and deployment. Once the deployment is done, it'll be we can manage the application from the platform itself. So in today's webinar, we will discuss about the requirement that we took for building the application, and we will discuss about the structure used to build that particular application. And we have already built the application. We will walk you through the actual application that has been built. So this is all about the Zoho Creator platform. Now let me give a quick overview about the industry that we took for today's session. That is the finance industry. So as you all know, finance sector includes banking sectors, insurance companies, asset management companies, which helps to drive the economical growth and stability. Automating these sectors not only enhances the efficiency and improves the accuracy, but also helps the finance system to provide a proper customer service to their customers and the clients. So there are many processes that needs automation in this finance industry. Among those processes, for today's session, we have taken this loan and credit management process. So within this loan and credit management process, there are some major automations that are needed. So before we discuss about the application flow, we'll discuss about what are the automations that is needed in this loan and credit management process. So the first process is going to be loan application. When I talk about loan and credit management, let's imagine that I'm managing a financial organization. So, as a financial organization, I'll be providing certain loan amounts and credit amounts to my clients. So, every time I receive a loan application, this loan application has to go through some certain process like eligibility checks, document verifications, agreement signing. All these process will be handling at the backend. So, we have automated this eligibility checks with our application. So once the eligibility check is done, it will go into the approval process. And once the loan application is approved, the loan amount will be dispersed to the client. So this is the first process or the first step in this loan and credit management process. Once the loan is dispersed to the client, then the repayment has to be tracked in a proper way. So, since it's a loan application, the repayment depends upon the monthly EMIs or the monthly installments. So, it is mandatory to automate this repayment process and the tracking process, which helps that particular financial organization to run in a smooth way. So, this is all about the loan application. Similar to that, we will be managing the credit applications as well, which we have termed it as credit management. So, loan is nothing but a fixed amount that we provide to the clients, and it will be repaid in the monthly basis. And credit is going to be a flexible amount which can be paid according to the use depending upon the terms the clients are agreed with. So, we will manage the client credit applications as well, and also we will manage the credit utilizations and credit repayments in our application. So these are the few major process automations needed in this loan and credit management application. So now let's quickly discuss about the application process flow used to build the application before I move on into the live demo. So as I said, talked about something called as application development life cycle. The first step was analyzing the requirement. We have already analyzed the requirement, that is we are going to automate the loan and the credit management. Now let's discuss about how the application is structured, and we will walk you through the actual application. So in this loan and credit management, we have segregated this into two different modules. One is loan management, one is credit management. As I said before, loan is going to be a fixed amount we provide to the clients, and credit is going to be a flexible amount we provide to the clients. So both are going to be managed in our application. Now let's discuss in detail about the process flow used for to each and every module. When I talk about loan management, when we receive a loan application, it will go into certain approval process. When I talk about approval process, this can include all the processes from eligibility check to document verification. So once the approval is rejected, we will notify the client about the rejection that has been made, and if the approval is successful or accepted, then the loan will be dispersed to the client's account. So once the loan is dispersed, then comes the repayment. So we have to automate the repayment on every monthly basis, and tracking that also will be done in this loan management. Not only the repayment, let's say if the user wants to pre-close the loan or wants to do a partial payment, that also will be handled in this loan management. So this is the actual process involved in this loan management module. Now let's discuss in detail about how we are going to manage the loan application and how the repayments are calculated in our application. So when I talk about loan application, we have the client who will be registering themselves with our application. So every time a client registers with our application, we will just do a quick A-based eligibility check. That is the amount that particular client is eligible for depending upon some criteria. So once the client eligibility amount is checked, then we will allow the client to apply for the loan. So depending upon the loan amount, tenure and the interest, the monthly EMI and the total amount payable amount from the client's end will be auto calculated within our application. So once this monthly EMI and the payable amount is calculated, we will display that to the clients, and we will also collect the necessary or supported documents in order for this application to go into the approval process. So let me say it again. We have the client, whenever a client register with our application, quickly we will do a A-based eligibility check, and we will allow the clients to apply for the loan. Depending on the loan amount, we will calculate the monthly EMI, tenure, rate of interest and the payable amount automatically. And once everything is approved, we will just collect the supported documents from the client's end, and we will send the documents for the approval process. So this is how we are managing the loan application. And now let's say that approval is done. So the loan is approved. Then comes the loan repayment tracker. So once the loan amount is approved, then we have to calculate the monthly payments. That is, for the month of November, what is the amount they have to pay? For the month of December, what is the amount they have to pay? So we will be doing all the manual calculations in an automated way within our application. So this will be happening. Let's say that the user wants to do some partial payment. Partial payments are nothing but a certain amount the user pays as an outstanding amount, which will be deducted from the which will be reduced in the principal amount. So depending on the partial payment amount, a new principal amount will be calculated, and depending on the new principal amount, the revised EMI and the tenure will be calculated, and this revised loan will get updated into the monthly payment tracker. So this is how we are managing the partial payments. Now let's say the client wants to pre-close the amount after a pre-close this complete loan amount after a certain period. Then for every pre-closure we have a certain charges that we collect from the clients. So this principal amount will get added with the amount pre-closure charges, and the client has to pay the whole amount. Once the client pays the amount, we will just completely close the loan application. So this is how we are managing the loan repayments within our application. Apart from this loan management, we are also managing the credit management. This loan management and credit management is going to be somewhat similar, only the amount and the installments will be differing. So, similar to the loan application, whenever we receive the credit application, it will go into certain approval process. If the approval gets rejected, we will notify the clients about the rejection that has been made. If the approval gets accepted, we will disperse the credit amount. And from there, whenever the credit has been utilized by the client, depending on the utilization, the credit repayments will be tracked. This is how we are managing the loan management and the credit management within our application. So before we see the live demo, let's quickly discuss about the features that are used to enhance the working of this loan and credit management application that we were discussing. So when I talk about features, we have used few different features like for workflows. Workflows are nothing but a set of action that helps us to automate certain process within our application. We have used this workflows effectively to do all the EMI calculations and all the repayment trackings and everything. And second feature is the portals. So since our clients are going to be the external users of our application, we will be giving the portal access of our application to the clients. So the clients can get to see their loan application status, get to see all the loan repayment schedules that has been assigned to them. Apart from that, we are using the custom AI model. So as I said before, we are doing the AI based eligibility check for each and every client when they register themselves with our application. And last feature that we have used is the combined reports. Combined reports are nothing but that helps us to see the related information within a single report. So I'll be showcasing you how the combined report will look like in the live demonstration. So when I talk about workflow features, within workflow, there are different types of workflows that we have used in our application. For example, when I talk about form workflows, whenever I write an automation on top of the forms, that is called as the form workflows. In our scenario, depending upon the loan type, rate of interest, loan amount and the loan tenure, the monthly EMI and the total payable amount is auto calculated at the backend with the help of this form workflows. Similar to this loan, for the credit management as well, we are doing the eligibility check of the client and the eligibility criteria that is associated with each and every credit type will be auto calculated at the back end, and the loan will be auto approved depending upon the eligibility check which is happening. For this as well, we are using the form workflows. Apart from the form workflows, we are using report workflows as well. Report workflow are nothing but if I'm trying to write an custom action on top of the report view, then I can term it as report workflows. In our scenario, we are using two different report workflows. One is for the loan repayment and the pre-closure calculations, and another is for the credit utilization and the repayment calculations. So in the loan repayment, this is nothing but, let's say a client has apply for a loan in the month of December. This EMI will be start to calculating from the December month. So every time the user pays an amount for the December month, on click of this particular status button, the EMI status will be changed and the EMI will get updated according to into his account. And similarly, if the user want to do any pre-closure or partial payment, the admin can click on this button and perform that on behalf of the user's end. Similar to this loan repayment, we have the credit utilization as well. Whenever a user utilizes a particular amount from the credit he has allocated with, he can upload it over here using this button. Whenever he wants to do any repayment for the utilization he made, he can make use of this custom action button. So this is called as the report workflow. Apart from this report workflow, we have used the approval workflow as well. So as I said before, both the loan application and the credit application goes into certain approval process before the loan is getting disbursed. And similarly, the credit application goes into certain approval process before the credit is getting disbursed. So this approval is done with the help of this approval workflow, where I can write multiple levels of approvals depending on my scenario. And last, we have used the scheduler workflow. Since the repayment is tracked in the monthly basis, so every month, a day before the due date, we will be sending a reminder to the user to do their payment on the right time. For that, we have written this scheduler workflow. Apart from the reminders, we have written the scheduler workflow at the backend in order to calculate the next month's overdue. So for these two purposes, we are using the scheduler workflow, which we will see in detail when it shows them in the live demonstration. Now let's talk about the actual demonstration of the application, which we were discussing in the previous slides. So this is the application I was talking about, loan and the credit management. So before I talk in detail about the application, let me showcase what are the modules involved in this application. So first is the client module. Whenever a client registers himself with our application, those people details will be available over here. Apart from that, we have the loan products module. Since I'm a financial organization, I'll be providing a fixed price, fixed loan types. For example, for the personal loan, I have given the rate of interest to be 12%, and the minimum and the maximum amount the client can apply for is going to be around 50,000 to 2 lakhs only, and the minimum and the maximum tenure, and the processing fee is nothing but the certain amount that we deduct from deduct as a processing fee. So here it will be the 3% of the loan amount the client is getting applied for. So like this, I have many product types, that is the loan products. One is the business loan or home loan or the personal loan. From this loan products only, we will allow the clients to apply for the loan. So all the other details like the rate of interest, the tenure, everything will be calculated depending upon this loan product that we have in our application. Apart from that, we have the loan application. So every time a client applies for the loan, that will get displayed over here. And every time a loan application gets approved, it will be moved into the next module, that is the loan repayment. So from this loan repayment, we will be managing all the payment status and the repayment trackers. So this is all about the loan application. Similar to that, we have the credit categories, credit applications, where we'll be managing the credit utilization and the credit repayments. So these are the modules that are involved in our application. Now let's discuss in detail about each and every module. Okay. So now let me register myself as a new client. So I have published the client details form, which can be embedded into my website. So from here, the client can register themselves with our application. So once they register, we can give them the portal access and manage their loan applications. So in this client details, I'm capturing the personal information of the client, address information, employment details, financial information, and the loan eligibility check. Now let me add a user. I'm adding an email address, a phone number, the date of birth. So if you notice that the age is getting auto calculated, this is done with the help of the form workflows again. I'm giving a empty identity number and the residential address. So this will be used to do the verifications. And then the employment type, whether he's a salaried person or a self-employed person. For now, I'm giving this person as a salaried person, and I'm giving the employer name, his role in that particular organization, his annual income. Then I'm just capturing the financial information of this particular client. This financial, I'm just capturing only the current loan debit and the loan amount. So if we want, we can capture the monthly expenses or monthly savings. This thing depends upon completely upon the business need of that particular financial organization. For demonstration, I'm capturing only the current loan and the existing loan amount. Then comes the eligibility, loan eligibility check. So I was talking about something called as AI based loan eligibility check. So let me show where I can build that prediction model. In the Zoho Creator, we have a part called as microservices. So this is the place where I can build the AI custom AI models. I have built a model called as client eligibility prediction. So where I have trained a data set of around 400, depending upon the age, annual income, employment type, tenure, and the loan type, the eligibility amount will be auto calculated. And again, this accuracy depends upon the data set that we are training. So I have used this prediction model over here. So depending upon the age, employment type, um, loan type, and the tenure, the eligibility amount will be auto calculated. So this is done with this AI prediction model. A detailed documentation on how to create this prediction model will be shared. You can refer to that. So once I click on this add button, the user will be stated that they will be getting the further informations via their mail. So now if I go to the admins view in the client uh, module, I can get to see the newly registered user, and this user will be assigned with the portal. So again, in the Zoho Creator, we have created a portal for the loan and the credit management. You can get to see you can get to see the newly added user who has given a permission set with client before loan application. So here permission sets are nothing but different set of access that we give to the portal users. This permission set can be added from the edit mode of my application. So if I go to the edit mode, under settings, we have something called as portal user permission, where I have added three different set of permissions. So for now, the loan application is not yet submitted from the client, only he has registered himself with our application. So I'm giving this permission set. If the loan application is submitted, it will go into approval process. So you will be given an access with before approval. Once the approval is done, you will be given an access with after approval. There are certain set of fields that the certain set of modules that we display to him. Now, if I go to the user's email address and refresh it, he would have got the invitation to log in into this customer portal by creating a new password. Let me create a new password. So once he registers himself, he will be taken into a place where he can submit his loan application. So in this loan application, I'm collecting the client details, loan details, the supported documents, and the approval status will be displayed to the client. So now let me re-enter my registered email address. Once I re-enter my registered email address, the client can get to see all his personal information which he has registered himself in this client module. So this information is displayed with the help of an add notes field which is available in the Zoho Creator forms. Next comes the loan details. So as I said before, in our admins view, we have something called as loan products, where I have certain products like personal loan. I've captured all the necessary details to calculate the personal loan. So that is what getting populated over here. Business loan, home loan, and the personal loan, the products that I have in my loan products module. So let's say the person is choosing the personal loan, and the rate of interest for this personal loan is going to be 12%, which is getting auto populated. And in the loan amount, the user can enter a minimum loan amount of 50,000 to 2 lakhs. So let me enter around 5 lakhs. It will throw and display message that loan amount must be within this particular range. So you can just simply give a lesser loan amount. And similar to that, we have the loan tenure as well. So once the loan type, interest rate, loan amount, and the loan tenure has been entered, particular details will get appeared where the monthly EMI and total interest, this is going to be the principal amount the user client has accepted for, depending on the principal amount, the total interest will be calculated, which is the 12 percentage of this principal amount. And processing fee, as you all know, the processing fee was 3 percentage of the principal amount, which is getting calculated. And adding all these things, the total payable amount is getting calculated. And this total payable amount is divided as the monthly installments for around 12 months of tenure. So these calculations are done with something called as form workflows, which will be available in the edit mode under workflows. Under form workflows, I have written a workflow for the EMI calculations using the Deluge scripting language. So you are getting to see a display over here, like a slider display. So this is done with something called as add note field, where we have inserted an HTML snippet. So this is how we are capturing the loan details. After getting the loan details, we are getting the necessary supported documents in order for this loan application to go into approval process. Let me enter few of the documents. So once the user enter all the mandatory details, he can simply click on the submit button. Once he click on the submit button and refresh this page, he will be taken into the loan application status dashboard, where he can get to see the status to be pending. So just now he has submitted the application, so the status is pending. If the application goes into under review model, automatically the user will get notified about the status change. Now let's go to the admin's view. Under loan application, you can get to see the newly added user, Noah, the loan type and the loan amount they requested for, and the status is going to be pending. So in order for this loan application to go into certain verification stages, we are using something called as blueprint, which is available in Zoho Creator. Again, if I go to the workflows, under workflows, I have something called as blueprint, where I have written a blueprint to do the verification. For now, the application has been received. It will be under review. It will go into document verification. Once the verification is done, it will go for the approval. So now let's say the verification is under review. The status of this application will be changed to under review. Similarly, if I go to the portal of this client, if the user refreshes it, he can get to see the status change has been changed from pending to under review. After that, it will go into the verification stage, where the document verification will be handled, and then it will go into the approval process. So once the current stage of the blueprint is changed to approval process, the finance officer or the loan management officer will get a notification about the approval that he needs to do. So once he clicks on the notification, he can either approve this loan depending upon the details, or he can reject the loan. So this approval workflow is again written within the workflow under approval. We have the loan approval workflow. So as I said before, the approval workflow we can add multiple levels of approval depending upon our requirement. In our scenario, we have added an admin as the approver of this particular thing, and once the approval is done, the user will get an email notification, and once the application is approved, we will be moving this loan application into loan repayment module, so where the monthly installment calculations will be done. And also, for now, the user is given a permission set of the loan before approval, right? So he has not yet given the access. Yes, this loan is not yet approved. So now once the approval is done, we will change the permission set to after approval, and in the after approval there are certain things of set of things we can display in this dashboard. So this is what that is happening behind the approval workflow. If the loan gets rejected, the user will get notified about that as well. So this is all about the approval workflow. Let's say I'm just going to approve this particular person's loan. Once the approval is done, if I go to the live mode, if I refresh this page, I can get to see the application status has changed as approved. Now if I go to the portal user dashboard, he will be getting to see his personalized dashboard, where he can get to see all his personal informations like the name, loan ID, and the total amount that has been approved. And he can get to see the detailed loan details like the loan amount, the interest he has approved for, the outstanding balance, and the loan terms. Apart from that, we have few card views where if the user wants to do see any the repayments, or if he wants to track the repayments, he can get to see. So on December 5th, he has applied for the loan and it got approved. From the next month, Jan 5th, he has to pay an amount of monthly EMI of about 5,000, and now still the status is pending. So before Jan 5th, a notification will be sent to the user. From there, the user can pay the amount. Once the payment is done, the payment date and the status will get changed. Like this, he can get to see all his repayment schedules within this particular dashboard. Now, if he wants to see a detailed view about the loan status, from the loan amount till the next due date will be displayed in this loan status module. Let's say if the user wants to pre-close the loan or perform any or add any partial payment, then he can make use of this module to do that. So we'll discuss about each and everything in detail. Now let's go back to the loan application. Since the loan application is approved, this loan application will be moved to the loan repayment module. You can get to see the loan repayment module where a loan ID is captured and the status is active. And when I click on it, I can get to see the detailed information about this particular person, where I can get to see all the repayment schedules. For each and every month, this repayment will be added depending upon the schedule. And if the user pays any pre-closure amount or partial amount, those details will be captured over here, where I can get to see the overview about the loan application, overview about the client details will be displayed. So this is what called as the combined report, where I can get to see multiple forms data within a single page. Each and everything is related with the client information. So a detailed documentation on how to create this client combined reports will be shared. You can refer to that as well. So now let's talk about how the payment status is captured and how the loan closure is made. So if I click on it, you can get to see for the January month only, I can change the status to be paid. So this is a new record, so I cannot show you that. Let me go back to the old record where the loan has been disbursed in the November month. The November month's EMI has been paid, but the December month's EMI is yet to pay. Let's say the user has paid the EMI. So I can simply click on this payment status button. So once I click on this payment status button, you can get to see the December month EMI is paid on 5th December and the payment status is paid. So if I try to click on this button once again, it will show a pop-up message that already the December month status has been updated. So this is called as the report workflow. So in this again in the under workflow, we have something called as report workflow, where I have written the payment status workflow. So depending upon the EMI due date, the EMI status and the EMI payment date will get added. So it will be added for each and every month. So if I'm trying to change the status of the January month, it will show me an error that it's December month is already updated. So I cannot update it before the due date. So this is what that is written behind this payment status button, which is available in the report. Similarly, if the user wants to close or do any partial payment and the admin wants to do it on behalf of the client, he can make use of this button. Or let's say if the user wants to perform it from his end, he can simply click on the go to closure button. Let me refresh this dashboard. You can simply go to the yearly closure button, where you can get to either pre-close the loan or do the partial payment. When you click on do the partial payment, you can get to see and detailed information about what is prepayment. And if he chooses the pre-closure, he can get to see and detailed information about what is pre-closure. So depending upon his requirement, he can perform it. Let's say the user wants to do the prepayment, that is partial repayment, which will be reduced from the outstanding principal. So now you all know the remaining balance, that is the outstanding principal now is around 63,000, which has been calculated when he submitted the loan application. So now let's say the user wants to pay an amount of 20,000. From this 63,000, 20,000 is going to be the outstanding amount he is paying now, and now the new remaining balance or the new principal amount is going to be 43,000. So from the next month, for this 43,000 only, the new tenure and the monthly EMI will get calculated. So for this new remaining balance, if the user wants to change the tenure, he can perform it. Or if the user wants to change the EMI, he can perform it. Let me refresh this. Payment 20,000. So now let's say the user wants to change the tenure. So if I go to the new user's tenure, the old tenure was 12 months and the EMI was 5,000, around 5,000. Now let's say now the user is going to change the tenure to be 10 months. So depending upon this new tenure and depending upon the new principal amount, the new monthly EMI will get calculated. Once the user submits and does the payment of this 20,000, it will get added into this particular module. Now if you go and refresh it, you can get to see the new tenure to be 10 months and the new monthly EMI to be around 4,000. So also in the repayment schedule, you can get to see for the December 5th, an amount of 20,000 has been paid from the principal amount. And in the pre-closure or the prepayment module as well, I can get to see the detailed information about the changed tenure and the changed EMI. So this is happening whenever they click on the submit button of that particular module. So this is what that is happening behind this two report workflow. Apart from that, as I said before, we are running two types of scheduler at the backend in order to manage the application more conveniently. So in the reminders, so as I said before, if this particular user's, let me say that if the particular user's due date is on 1st December, on 31st of November, this particular scheduler will run and they will send an email notification stating that they have to pay the amount on the particular date. This scheduler will be running on every month and the reminders will be sent to the client's email address. Apart from that, we are running another scheduler as well. This scheduler will be running on the due date basis. So now let's say this is December 1st amount has been paid. So the next EMI due date is going to be January month. So in the end of December month, the January month due date and the EMI amount will be added depending upon the scheduler that we are running. So let me execute this and show you how it works. Now if you get to see the December month's EMI is paid, now let me execute this and show you how the January month's EMI is getting added. Now if I go back to this particular record, I can get to see the January month's due date and the January month's EMI amount is getting added depending upon the December month's EMI. If the EMI status is pending, the overdue amount also will get added and the new EMI amount will be displayed over here. So this scheduler also will be running on the monthly basis. For the reference, I have executed and showed you how it works. So this is all about the loan application. Now let's say the user wants to close the loan. So you can again go to the yearly closure. You can simply click on the pre-closure. Depending upon the new remaining balance, pre-closure charges will get calculated. This pre-closure charges depends upon the organization's requirement. For here, I have taken 2% of this principal amount. So this EMI pre-closure charges will get added into the actual amount, and this is going to be the total amount the user has to pay. Once he pays and clicks on the submit button, this complete application loan application status will be changed to closed. So he have paid all the amount. Now the remaining balance is going to be 0. So this is how we are managing the loan application within our Creator application. Apart from this, we are managing the credit applications as well. Similar to the loan products, we have certain types of credit categories as well, where I have the credit type, the maximum and the minimum credit, rate of interest, repayment type. Repayment type depends upon the credit category. It can be on the monthly basis or it can be on the pay as use basis. Apart from that, we have the processing fee. And very importantly, in this credit category, we have something called as eligibility criteria. So here, if the client matches this particular criteria, that is minimum age, maximum age, annual income, employment type only, this particular credit application will get auto approved. or else it will go on to the approval process, which is again similar to the loan approval. We have written the credit approval. Let me enter an application, add an application and show you how it works. So in the client name, let me go with the newly added client. The client details will get displayed: age, annual income, and the employment type. And depending upon the credit type, the credits eligibility criteria also will get displayed over here, and they can apply for the credit limit. So now this credit tracker is also built with the add notes field, where I have inserted an HTML snippet. So now we can get to see the minimum age and maximum age is around 25 to 40. So this person's age is around 33, which matches the criteria. Similarly, the employment type is salaried, and the annual income is greater than the criteria's annual income. So this, when I click on the submit button of this credit application, it should automatically get approved, or else if this criteria does not match, it goes into the approval process. So once I click on the submit button, you can get to see the status is getting auto approved. Similarly, if a user utilizes a particular amount on a particular day, let's say this person is using an amount of 1 lakh, he has credited with an amount of 3 lakhs. So 1 lakh has been utilized, so remaining balance is going to be 2 lakhs. Once he clicks on the submit button in the detail view, I can get to see the utilization which has got added under this particular user. Similarly, if the user wants to repay that particular amount, the remaining balance will get added. So that too will be displayed in the user's detail view. So this is how we are managing the credit utilization and the credit repayment. Similar to this loan application dashboard, we can provide the credit application dashboard as well to the clients. From there, they can manage all their credit informations. So this is all about the application that I wanted to showcase you for today's session. So if you have any doubts regarding the application, you can post it in the question tab. Now let's quickly discuss about some of the extended use cases that we can think about for this loan and the credit management. Let's imagine this loan and credit management as an internal application or a postal based application. When I'm giving the internal users the access of this application, for example, the admin to add the requests, the loan officers to approve the loan applications, and the finance team to manage the retracking, repayment trackings, and the customer support to help the clients. If these people are only using a loan and credit management, then I can call this loan and credit management as an internal tool. Similarly, we just discussed about how we gave the portal access of our application to the client, where the client can get to see all his application status, repayment schedules, credit reports, and everything. Then I can call that loan and credit management as a portal based application. Similarly, if I'm trying to integrate my loan and credit management with other Zoho third party application in order to reduce the work, in order to reduce the model, then let's say if I'm just integrating my Zoho Creator account with the Zoho Books account, where I can manage all the payment trackings and accountings. Here I can manage only the EMI calculations and the loan applications. Then I can make use of this Zoho Books. Now let's say there is something called a Zoho CRM. So every time a client is added as a lead to the Zoho CRM, I can push the client informations into Zoho Creator, and from Zoho Creator I can manage all his loan application, EMI calculations, and repayment tracking and everything. Then I can make use of the Zoho CRM in order to reduce the data redundancy. Apart from that, there is something called a Zoho Sign. In our scenario, we have managed all the loan approval processes from document verification to the approval. We have managed it with the help of the blueprint. But here, let's say the user wants to do any digital document signing with the client before providing a larger loan amount. Then I can integrate my Zoho Creator with the Zoho Sign in order to sign these legal document digitally. Apart from that, we have a product called a Zoho Work Drive. If I want to upload any supported documents the client is submitting, I can integrate with Zoho Work Drive, and I can manage all the supporting documents within the Zoho Work Drive. So this is all about the loan and credit management as an extended Zoho or third-party application. So I think we came to the end of the session. Let me quickly give some key points and summarize the session. So here we have used different features in order to enhance the working of our application. For example, we gave the portal access of our application to the clients where it was easy for the clients to track the entire application status, and as well as they got to view the personalized dashboard where they can see the entire information about their loan. And apart from that, we have used the combined reports where on single click of this particular view, I can get to see all the related information about the clients. For that, we use the combined reports. And you could have seen a dashboard, personalized dashboard for the clients. So this dashboard is built with the help of the HTML and the ZML snippets that are available in the Zoho Creator pages. And we have effectively used the workflows like form, report, scheduler, and approval to automate the entire calculation process and the approval process. So these are the few features that are used within the application to make it work in a more enhanced way. So by this we came to the end of the session. Today's session, we have few upcoming sessions as well. Creator Tech Connect series. So this is another series which is running every second Thursday of the month. In this series, we discuss about all the technical concepts that are available in Zoho Creator. For example, you would have seen I have written a monthly EMI calculations with form workflows. I have created a dashboards with the snippets. So I've given the portal access. So all these technical concepts will be detailedly covered in this Creator Tech Connect series. For this month of December, we are going to talk about product release updates. That is the new updates that has been received in the Zoho Creator product, which will be held on December 12th, 4 p.m. IST. You can either scan this QR code to register yourself, or my co-trainer will be sharing the registration link in the chat. You can just register from there as well. Um, Thank you everyone for attending the session. Once again, if you have any questions, please write to training@zohocreator.com. We are happy to help. And we are at the end of this year. We'll meet again in the next new year with the next new sessions. Happy New Year until then. Thank you.